This week's episode is brought to you by hybrid cars. Yeah. Or should we say trucks? Yeah? Truck, yeah? Truck, yeah! Yeah! You just blew the fuck out of those speakers. Sorry.
Truck, yeah, wanna get it jacked up, yeah, let's drink it on up, yeah.
Basketball is the only basketball worth watching, according to me right now.
Sure, according to the greater Baltimore area. I don't know where the University of Maryland is, but there's really not that much to Maryland.
I take very much offense to that. Herter.
Herter.
Kevin Herter.
Herter.
You want to know it is the greatest thing to listen to and watch and do? We don't have video, but the Hodgepodge Podcast.
Definitely listening to us try to pronounce Herter.
Anyway, welcome to the Hodgepodge Podcast, the official podcast, countryhodgepodge.com. I'm your host, Steve Hodge, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, cousin, and lover, Kevin Hodge.
Herter.
This is going to be the episode of the 1,000 Truck Ass.
The truck. Yeah. Welcome to the land of 1,000 truck ass.
Exactly. This week we're going to be talking about Kane Brown's psychotic fans and how they're all 50-year-old women.
My God.
And then we're going to talk about how Tim McGraw's best song is Truck Yeah.
Truck Yeah.
So, without further ado, I don't have anything else about that we can talk about.
I got nothing. So, also, apologizing. Okay, brains.
Apologize.
That's perfectly describing what I was about to say. Is I'm going to apologize in advance that I'm currently watching the NBA draft and probably going to space out when the Bulls pick comes up. So I might go full retard at any moment.
Yeah, because basketball matters.
Basket hoops.
No son of mine will play basket hoops. But anyway, Kane Brown. There was this article that Saving Country Music posted about how Kane Brown's fans are all psychotic, and it was just a bunch of misspelled comments and just blah, blah, blah. And then I commented on someone shared a video of Kane Brown like doing this very Backstreet Boys-esque song. It's
whatever his new song
thing from country.
Yeah, whatever his new
heard.
Song is, it just sounds like a Backstreet Boys song.
Yeah, it's just a drum beat with a bunch of guys harmonizing to some shitty like "I wish I could be you, girl," like that kind of just dog shit.
Girl, girl, yeah.
And so I commented or I retweeted it with our official Twitter account saying like, "Congrats on starting the boy band Kane Brown," or whatever. Like, and then I was like, "This is a hot pile of garbage." And then of course, some like 50-something-year-old woman comments like, "Always someone trying to be funny," and I'm like, "Yep." And Kane Brown's trying to be country.
See, the thing that blows my mind is like when you get the responses from these people on the social media that are Kane Brown fans. You go to their page and it's literally just tweets and tweets and tweets of nothing but Kane Brown shit,
like photos and
and I don't understand that for like any band, because like as we have discussed many times on this podcast, I'm fucking huge Cody Jinks fan. He
is the best name in country music.
Yeah, and I am a huge fan. Like I go out of my way to read shit about him, and you know, like as soon as his music leaks, I'm running out there trying to find it, and I'm retweeting shit related to him.
Yeah.
But my entire timeline is not just anything that's ever referenced, and I'm not going out trying to find someone who badmouths him to be like, "Yeah, well, fuck you, bro."
Yeah, you're not. You don't have like future Mrs. Cody Jinks in your like bio and shit like that.
And just oh my God, and they're just absolute crazy people.
Yeah, and then it was so funny because this lady, she's the one who commented back at me, and I was just tearing her down, and she's just like, "Oh, Kane Brown's the greatest, and I support him," and all this shit. And then there were just more comments by people, and they're all like AARP age white women, and it's just like, is this like your cougar fantasy?
Well,
like you're gonna bang this younger dude? Like,
it doesn't make any sense. And then like the one person commented back like, you know, a bunch of shit about like, you know, this many million views on this
Oh,
and this
God.
many likes and whatever, so he's doing
The Whiskey
something
Riff
right.
defense?
Yeah, exactly. And then she was like, well, don't bother going to my page because it's 99% Kane Brown. Oh, I went to it, and it's not 99% Kane
It was
Brown.
100%.
It's 155% Kane Brown.
Their walls, how I described it when we were texting was, it looks like a serial killer's like wall in their house with like the red strings and the eyes cut out.
Exactly.
And, like, their pages look like that. They are psychotic.
Yeah, they don't want to see Kane Brown.
They
want to own his skin.
They're like the 13-year-old girls who are like obsessed with One Direction
Oh,
type like psychoticness, and it's like, you are 50.
Yeah, when you go
What is
when you
wrong with
watch
you?
the South Park episodes and like the teenage girls just like "Ah!" like
Mama JJ
just
tingles or
freaking the
whatever.
fuck out, like screaming and crying, like those are the people, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And it might be because I'm a dude and I have good taste in music, so maybe these things are just
But
mutually exclusive from being a Kane Brown
don't
fan.
understand-
But what the fuck?
I don't
What the truck?
I don't I don't understand how this obsession can be like not viewed down. Like, if a guy was stalking like Ariana Grande, he would be considered a fucking creep, a trucking
Unless
creep.
that person was Pete Davidson, and then they would just get engaged to Ariana Grande
Yeah,
within 3 weeks,
yeah, it's
and
weird.
would just be a really weirdo about it.
His ex
Yet-
is more attractive than Ariana Grande.
So I don't know anything about anything in popular
Yeah, I don't
culture.
care, but-
However, the fuck.
Yeah. Well, I saw like this
The
article.
truck.
It's like they bonded about their parents dying on 9/11 or
But
whatever. I'm like, what?
she was fucking
trucking.
She was trucking Mac Miller for a very long time, and he was with some person that I don't know for
It's
I
just
don't know
a
how
non-famous
long. Exactly,
person,
but
yeah.
they both ended relationships, and then they started dating, and then they were dating for like 2 weeks, and then they're engaged. And it's like
Yeah. But anyway, like the Kane Brown thing, as we get back to that, it's just
is more crazy
Yeah,
than Pete Davidson marrying
they
Ariana
are
Grande.
psychotic. And when I put this episode out, referencing this in our menu or in our bio of like this week, we talk about Kane Brown psychotic fans. You know, we're gonna get messages like Kane Brown's the greatest.
I
And
look
then
forward to hearing your
one-
nonsensical, misspelled psychobabble.
I think the best comment was one of the lady. Oh, I think it was the lady who replied like, "He has this many views and this many likes and blah blah blah." I think her tweet, like I went to her profile and her most recent tweet was just like, "Why can't people just let people enjoy country music?" And I just really want to respond because it's not country music.
Exactly.
Like I do not care if you are a psychotic stalker of Kane Brown. I really don't fucking care. But stop calling it country music because it's not country music.
I'm just gonna start invading the realm of like hardcore polka music and just start spamming them with the fact that Metallica is the greatest polka band that has ever existed, and just be like, why can't you just let me listen to my polka music in
like,
peace?
there's no way. Like I remember back when I used to work for the city, and the temporary people. This not to sound racist, but they were all Mexican. They would
How
listen.
dare you.
They would listen to just those Mexican mariachi like radio stations. Could you imagine turning that on and just hear like Slayer raining blood on it? Be like, no, this is mariachi music.
Okay.
Like, yeah. I don't know. I was gonna say raining blood in Spanish, but I don't know how to say that in Spanish.
Reinar
Bluto. But like,
I didn't take the Spanish.
I just hate because it's what was it? AJ McLean's fucking song just
Oh.
being torn apart. It's like it's finally going to show
So bad.
that he thinks that anyone can just say their country and that we're just dumb enough to accept it. Because I feel like that's probably what it is. That people think country fans are just so stupid that they'll accept anything as country music. Because
Although, to be fair, they were right up until this AJ McLean
Yeah,
song.
but then
because
even-
everything up until this point, everyone had to be like, "Yeah, well, your genre's changing."
Yeah,
but then
because-
we finally hit the point of no return, which is apparently just writing a terrible song that sounds terrible and is just terrible and terrible.
Yeah.
And apparently, this is more terrible
Yeah,
than the
even-
terrible things that have already happened.
Even Whiskey All Country is great country riff said like this is a shitty song. And then these pop country radio stations are like, I'm like okay with the contemporariness, which is still wrong, but
Yeah.
they're like, but this is just bad. Like, and I'm like, I'm glad that people are finally realizing that yes, this is shitty. And
Honestly, I think, though, the only reason that they're responding that way is because of the fact that he's a Backstreet Boy dude who then said, I'm going to disrupt country music.
Yeah.
If someone had recorded and released this exact same terrible song, but they were a person who were just trying to break into country.
If it was just Sam Hunt.
Yeah, they would have had no problem with it. I really believe that for some reason people decided, the people who defend, the terribleness that is in the radio these days, I feel like for some reason they picked this as the line that they were going to draw.
Yeah.
Just to say that they have a line, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
But I don't think that this is really going to mean anything. I don't think they're going to start being like, wait, you know what? I'm going to start valuing good songwriting.
It's just
I just
weird.
think they're like, no, not this guy.
It's just weird because just recently Cody Johnson signed to a major label rather than him being his Kojo Enterprises or whatever the fuck it is. Truck it is.
Truck.
Then it was Sam Hunt name dropping Tyler Childers, which is sacrilege, but it's still.
Well, it's like, yeah, okay, you're just proving further to my point that you know what country music
exactly
is.
What he's doing.
You just don't make it.
It's the fact.
Why is it so hard for people just to be like, yeah, no, I get it. It's not country.
They want to lie and say because they want to monetize it, and the second they say this isn't country, we're just using you to make pop music, it's gonna go downhill, or people are just gonna start switching over to a new radio
because
station.
The problem is, as soon as they admit that it's not country, then they have to compete with the likes of like Taylor Swift and fucking. Trucking random other person who's super famous. My brain's already broken.
And
I can't even think of, but like Katy Perry or whatever.
And I just don't see how country radio could ever come back from this. Because what are they going to do?
Can't.
They're just going to cut off Walker Hayes, Sam Hunt, and all this shitty music, and suddenly they're just going to be like, guess what? Now we're playing Cody Jinks, Whitey Morgan, Cody Johnson, American Queer. Like, what? Are they just going to suddenly start playing that on the radio? Like, just cut the top 40 off and then start it again?
I legitimately believe that the radio as a thing, it's already starting to be phased out. People are using streaming platforms, and people are listening in different ways more than they listen to the radio anyway.
Yeah.
I just legitimately think that the radio itself is just gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
And I think that there's gonna be outlets that still try to prop up the quote top 40, and they're gonna say, oh, look at how many people we got listening to our crappy bullshit.
Yeah.
But I think that there's just gonna be so many other ways to consume music that it's going to finally get to the point that, the thing that we've been advocating and hoping for so long, that people just start finding this music that's out there that is good.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to start having more and more people
knowing
who these artists are, who are still, smaller time. But basically, the phenomenon that has occurred in Texas, where there's a lot of artists in Texas that are big names in Texas, but outside it's not so much, I think that's just going to start expanding. I think there's just going to be like some pretty well-known people who are not super big, but they're pretty well known, and thank God Grayson Allen can't go to the Bulls. We're great. Thank God. We're the best around.
Yeah.
The Bulls have the next pick, but Grayson Allen got picked before it, so that means he can't be on the Bulls. Watch, they're going to fucking trade for him. Those bastards.
But no, yeah, I agree. Well, because the one thing is that Spotify, they just have to stop getting paid by these labels to put their shitty songs on their like hot country playlist, quote unquote.
Yes.
But what it is I think the related stuff will start coming through, and I do see people just kind of like how American Aquarium, they just went #1 on the Heat Seekers chart. They charted on country, like they're getting there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I think what is really going to happen is these artists that are really good but don't really have a big following are just going to slowly get a little bigger, and people are going to start realizing how much good music is out there.
Yeah.
And so these outlets that are just churning out the bullshit, people are going to just stop paying attention because they're like, well, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Like there's people that will listen to the garbage because for some reason terrible bullshit sells like crazy.
Yeah.
But there's going to be the people that like that. But I think what's really going to happen is there's going to be this whole alternative market thing. And it's going to be more people are going to end up turning to alternative things. So the individual artist may not get nearly as big, so you'll still have your superstars who suck. But there's just going to be a better appreciation and knowledge of these smaller time artists. At least that's what I hope. Otherwise, it's going to do a full rebound 360, and anyone who makes good music is going to get drawn and quartered in the streets, and we're going to have to be forced listen to Sam Hunt until we die.
Well, what country radio needs to realize, or the corporations behind the labels and all that shit, is they need to realize that they need to just accept that this is pop music, and because, yes, country radio won't be as prominent if it doesn't have these pop artists on the on the network. Who gives a shit? Because the people who want to hear country music are gonna listen. The CMAs aren't relevant anymore. The CMT awards, the ACMs, the ASS, the FUKs.
Yes.
None of them fucking matter anymore. Trucking matter anymore. Sorry, censored.
This is a family show.
They don't matter anymore. And the fact that it's showing that all the ratings are dropping, that country music is never going to be the number one genre in the country. And they need to stop pretending that it's going to be and just let real music take over.
Well,
again.
they're losing. Finally, they're losing their monopoly over your ability to listen to shit.
Yeah.
Now that we have these alternative forms of consuming content, we finally are having the ability to listen to whatever the fuck we want, and so you don't have to, you flip your radio station on and you just have the one channel that plays country music, and so you're forced to listen to whatever the fuck they have. That's not the case anymore, so they're losing their audience because the only reason they had an audience to begin with was because you didn't have an option to not listen to
and
it.
But the thing is even back then, the options you had were deep. Because I still remember the first time I heard Lee Brice back before what's the big one of his? The fucking Love Like Crazy. Before that one charted, I saw it on GAC, and I was like, this is a good fucking song. And I also saw Sunday Best's Home on GAC, and I was just like, who are these guys? And I started listening to Sunday Best because of it, and I was like, this is crazy. So I'm wondering, like, but with the radio owning it rather than Spotify now, I wonder how many like Chris Canterbury's or Ira Wolf's or like Savannah Conley's, like those smaller artists that we've missed out in the past because we've only been able to hear the top 40. Like, I wonder how many artists like that.
Oh God, there's thousands.
Yeah, like it's so awesome that on Spotify we can now listen to these underground type people, which is hopefully like people pointing out like how Miranda Lambert went to a John Moreland concert before he was really that popular. I mean, he's still an underground artist, but like having artists like this point out smaller people and having the ability to listen to their shit without having to, I mean, obviously buy their shit, support them, but without having to go to their concert or buy their CDs, you can listen to these artists and get into them. And fuck the radio. Or truck the radio.
Truck it.
Truck. Yeah.
In the butt. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, fuck Kane Brown, fuck his psychotic fans. You guys are
seriously.
Truck them. It's just so funny, really quickly before we move on, just the immaturity of those people and the fact that they're always just like, I love him and he's the greatest and country music's changing, get used to it. It's like, no, it's not. Seriously. Just stop. But yeah, so this week we wanted to talk about Tim McGraw, Quick Draw McGraw, Truck McGraw, because recently, well, actually, I guess
Friday Night Lights McGraw,
Drunk Dad McGraw,
Don't Fumble McGraw,
Duct Taping Footballs to Hands McGraw. But what war movie was he into? He was in a
war movie.
He was like I don't know. Anyway,
was he?
I'm pretty sure. And
he was in The Blind Side.
Blind Side, yeah. That was the war movie I was thinking. But no, Tim McGraw. Other than his last album with Faith wasn't very good, but he started He went back after the Gold Old Truck Yeah debacle. He went back to country with Damn Country Music, which was a fantastic album. I mean, there were some kind of duds.
Was good. It was a good album.
But there were some songs that I had on my top 15. I think there was one even on my top 10 that were fantastic songs from that album. Obviously, it still had some really shitty, like pop-ish sounding songs.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see that he's starting to turn back towards the traditional, because I feel like obviously we go back to it. Artists like Tim McGraw and Gary Allen and artists like that are realizing that they're not going to survive in this pop country world. That it is going to go to those young 30-somethings that all look the fucking same. Those are going to be the people who succeed in the pop country. So they don't need to adapt. They just need to keep doing what they've been doing. And so Tim McGraw going back to traditional is an awesome step forward.
Yeah, and exactly like you were saying, that he has to go back to the sound that made him great. He still has an 8-pack,
and he's very attractive still.
Exactly. So he can still do the pop shit, but I think he's realizing that if he wants his legacy to last like forever, keep making good music. Don't just be the guy that made good music in the 90s and then sold out, and then no one cares.
I don't know. This might get me chastised, but I think he's already in a legendary status. Like, he is a country, like, someone who will be remembered forever. Like, he is
he'll
the
be
biggest name in country music at one point.
He's been super famous for a long time.
Like, even if you don't listen to country music, you know the name Tim McGraw.
He's been married to Faith. Like, he's not going to be forgotten.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, what are you going to remember Tim McGraw, that cowboy dude who was in movies, or are you going to remember Tim McGraw, the great
country singer? Yeah. So I like that he's taking a step back. He's realizing probably that he doesn't need to be this pop artist. Like, he already has. Well,
he's also
legacy.
so fucking loaded that I don't think he needs the money now.
Yeah,
either.
I'm pretty sure I guarantee they pull in 9 figures a year.
Oh god,
the
money that the money that household accumulated when they made an album together and then toured together. Yeah. My god.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, that's. A lot.
And apparently, we're just basically like banging on stage. It was apparently super sexual.
All right. But speaking of Tim McGraw on stage, the one thing before we get to his top 10 is he is a fucking diva. Like,
oh yeah, that is the one thing that's pissed me off.
I've seen once or twice. Yeah, he's like one of the artists that I have gained and lost respect for more times in a row than I can possibly think, because he's been a little bitch, but he's also been really awesome. But the one thing that we noticed before we get into our top 10 is that 5 of the 10 on this top 10, spoilers, are from the same album.
How dare you.
And I think total we had like 8 of those songs on our individual top 10s before we made the one, because the Set the Circus Down is his best album by far.
For sure.
It is a it is a genuinely fantastic album, and like, I will fight you on that, because I mean, Tim McGraw even though he's very commercial, he was a fantastic country artist. Like, he was never like, I don't think he was ever that Garth Brooks of like, he sold it out and made it shitty. I mean, other than Indian Outlaw, that's a bad song. But
I'm Indian Outlaw, even though I'm a white guy.
Yeah, half Cherokee, half Choctaw, or whatever.
Except for your white guy.
Yeah, but I just think he was good, and then he kind of went to shit, and then he kind of came back with damn country music, and I just kind of hope that he continues to just kind of remake.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what the future has in store, because he keeps going all over the place. Because I remember, when he released Truck Yeah, which was, all jokes aside, a fucking terrible song. Yeah. But then was it right before that or right after that Better Than I Used to Be?
I think it was after that.
Because when that came out, I'm like, yeah, all right, it was great. And then it's just like the two of them. I'm just like, how could you even make both of these?
Yeah,
oh my god.
Yeah, Better Than I Used to Be is an amazing song, and it's not on our top.
Well, the only reason I didn't put that on mine was because I've listened to the Sammy Kershaw version a lot. And so, like, the Tim McGraw version is better. I think he sings better. Yeah. It's a tremendous song. But in my head, I was like, yeah, but I think of it as both of the songs. And I was like, I'll just leave it.
Sammy Kershaw, gonna get that blur shaw. Exactly.
Too far.
Anyway, Tim McGraw is good. Let's get into his top 10.
Stuff and things.
Truck Yeah. Number 10, Truck Yeah. Wait, no. Number 10, Unbroken.
Untruckin'.
Untruck, yeah. Anyway, Unbroken.
You held me up to the sunlight. Now it feels like no one ever left me out in the rain. Cold words still remain unspoken, and I never got lost. Spent years in the dark. You're here now, my heart's unbroken. When I see you smile, feel my soul again, and I'm unbroken.
I love this song. It's just one of those. It's just a good love song of just like, my heart used to be shattered, but you unbroke it. Like, kissing you just brought it all back together, and it's just going through life now that you're feeling better and shit.
It's a great song. Super upbeat feeling, kind of No, not poppy in a bad way, but poppy in the just like it's upbeat and quick and
It's a
fast
quick
tempo and all
moving
that stuff.
band,
But it's clearly a country song, and I do love it a lot.
Yeah. Number 9, Between the River.
Between the Truck and Me.
Between,
In case you're wondering, yeah, I'm going to do that for all of us.
between the tailgate and
Between the Truck and yeah.
Anyway, Between the River and Me.
Next day I followed him down to the riverbank. I knew one of us wouldn't walk away. I might have had a plan, but he didn't know it. Might have been scared, but I didn't show it. That's all between the river and me. With the current and the rocks, could have been risky. Might have been sober, but I brought the whiskey. That's all between the river and me.
This song is just, if you guys don't know, Kevin does like the murder ballads.
In case you're wondering, if someone gets killed in the song, I'm a fan. Preferably by murder.
I think genuinely my favorite part of the song is just the cleverness of the actual line, "This is between the river and me." Like, it's just like no one else, there's no witnesses, there's no one knows this, it's just the river saw it and I saw it.
And just the way that he frames a lot of the things, like, there might have been this, but
There
no
might have
one's
been a
gonna
knife in my back
Yeah, there might have
pocket.
been this, there might have been that, and just like he's not really admitting to anything. He's like, that's just between the river and me. I think it's a really awesome written and executed
And it's like
murder
the
ballad.
cops come by and it's like there's just a little mud on the living room carpet and
Exactly.
that's just between the river and me.
Exactly, and then also just the songs about his dad passes away, and then later on his mom remarries, but this dude is like abusive, so he murders the guy that's being abusive to his mom, and so I'm all about that.
Yeah, it's this I fucking love this song. Honestly, it will spoilers ish future thing. We're gonna do a murder ballads episode.
It's gotta be on mine.
around Halloween, and this will 100% be on our top 10 because it is a fantastic song.
Yeah, this one jams.
Yeah. Number 8, Why We Bought a Raptor.
Why we truck, goodbye.
Why We Said Goodbye.
I remember how you held me the night my father died. I didn't have to tell you, I just broke down and cried. You're sewn into the fabric, the pieces of my life, and I just can't remember why we said goodbye.
It's kind of one of those My Memory Ain't What It Used to Be by like Jason Aldean, and it's just like, and it's just this ungodly sad song of him being like, I remember how you held me when my dad died. I remember the look in your eyes when we did that old roller coaster stuff. It's like, with all that, why did we say goodbye? Like, obviously it wasn't perfect. It wasn't going all correctly, or nothing is perfect. But why did we say goodbye?
The answer is he recorded Truck Yeah, and she's like, get out of my house.
And she said, get out of my fucking house. But no, it's just incredibly sad, and it's just such a great message of this kind of a guy just genuinely confused as to like, what happened to us, and why did this end?
For sure.
Number 7, Forget About Trucks.
Forget about trucks. Yeah.
Forget About Us.
I know it won't be easy, but I've got a plan to just let my memory let go of your hand. I'm gonna miss your touch, but I know I must forget about us.
This is another one from good old Set the Circus Down. I think this is our third from that album already. It's just this fantastic song about a guy who's just trying to get over this girl, and he's just doing all this. He's like, and I'm just going to do this, drink a beer, look at the stars, and try and forget about us. And it's just this amazing post-breakup.
Yeah, it's got this somber feel to it, and it's sad, but it doesn't really, like, it kind of has a a feeling like it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Despite it being tremendously sad.
Because he's going to get on
Deal.
that Greyhound bus and take a Viagra. That's how I always think.
Exactly.
He says the little blue pill. I'm like, isn't that a boner pill?
Yep.
He's going to spank it on the bus.
Literally it. I'm gonna go buy a truck. Yeah. And forget about truck. Yeah.
Truck. Yeah, gonna get him that truck. Yeah. Anyway. Number 6, live like you were...
truck. Yeah.
Drive like you were trucking.
Truck like you were dying.
Truck like you were live like you were dying.
I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Blue Manchu, and I looked deeper and I spoke sweeter and I gave forgiveness I've been denying. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying.
This is the song everyone knows. If you know one song by Tim McGraw, it's maybe something.
Is this
like
his
that.
top song on Spotify?
Let me find out. I'm gonna go on the
Because it's one of those like, yeah, I agree that I think it's got to be one of his biggest songs. I mean, maybe he's got some radio performing song lately.
Because this is the song that he does for every single encore, every
Yeah.
single concert. This is an encore song. The number one
so
is
good.
Well, it's the number one is Highway Don't Care. Is that the Taylor Swift one? He did a song with Taylor Swift. I can't
That's
remember.
probably
which one it is. But it's the number 2 most played with 81 million plays is Humble and Kind. Third place is Live Like You Were Dying. But yeah, it's 4th on his top 5, but it's the third most played song.
Yeah, it's super popular, so obviously we don't need to get into it too much because everyone knows it. But it's live like you're live. It's just living life because you should be living every day
Like
to the
last,
fullest. Don't wait till you're actually dying to start living life and appreciating it.
Yeah, it's good. Number 5, Mr. Whatever You Drive Trucks.
Mr. Truck, whoever you are.
Mr. Whoever you is. Mr. Whoever you are.
She says, take me for one more song, Mr. Whoever you are. Spin me around and pull me in close when the band slows down. Then let's get the hell out of this bar, Mr. Whoever you are. Mr. Whoever you are.
This song is just, I always jokingly say that it's a beautiful song, but I always jokingly say it's just romanticizing being a slut. Because
it is just a song about like this girl goes out and she's just like, yeah, take me on the dance floor and then let's go plow.
Yeah, and so but it's also, it's not like this, it's not like a party girl, like single girl type song. It's a very depressing, she's just having not the greatest like run of life, and so she just goes to the bar to drink and forget, and it ends up that she's using sex to try and like make her life better, but it's not working.
Well, that's the thing.
It's
It's a song that so often gets told from the male perspective, where you're just trying to get over things. You're just trying to find some random person for a one night stand.
Yeah,
and so it's weird to see it from the female perspective. She's like, wait, what? She's just getting plowed
because
all the time and whatever. But it's like,
every
well, why
guy knows
not?
Every guy knows she's a hot. Like they say, she's the belle of the ball in ballroom jeans.
Balls.
She's like the belle of the ball in cut off jeans or whatever the fuck the line is.
Belle of the balls.
And ballroom jeans.
Balls. Bottom jeans.
Anyway, but yeah, it's just this really depressing song, and the way he sings it is so somber that it's just like this.
Yeah.
You can tell that she's not enjoying the fact that she just uses sex to like feel something. Pretty
Exactly.
much.
She is not a fan of Truck, yeah. She really wishes the song would go away.
She don't like it. She don't love it.
She wants no more of it.
Number 4, The Trucker and Me.
The truck, and yeah.
The Cowboy and Me.
urge to run, the restlessness, the heart of stone I sometimes get. The things I've done for foolish pride, for me that's never satisfied. The face that's in the mirror when I don't like what I see. I guess that's just the cowboy in me.
This song is just good.
I love it. I this is probably one that I've listened to the most, just because it jams and I like it a lot, and I really like Western shit and cowboy things, and so him just talking about the ways that he is, you know, that's just the cowboy in me, like my restlessness and the wanting to be out and, you know, roaming around and rambling and all the different kind of cliche cowboy things, but him just saying like the all that shit is all the cowboy in me.
Yeah, and it's not even like, it's not one of those like I'm proud to be a rambler thing, because like the opening line is I don't know why I act the way I do. Like
Yeah,
it's just this.
Exactly. He's reflecting on the things that have like driven him away from people, essentially.
Yeah, and so it's like it's just I'm a natural born rambler type thing, and it's
Natural born truck, yeah.
number 3.
Trucks we find. Yeah.
I was gonna say all we ever drive.
Truck we ever, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we ever truck. All we ever find.
You can trust me, this is real. Say exactly how you feel. Tell me all your dreams and what you think love means. Or lock the world outside, embrace the gift of time, promising forever, knowing that this moment might be all we ever find.
This was my number 1. It's just so like sad sounding. It's not a sad song, but
Yeah, but how many times does he say truck yeah in it?
I think 6 times.
Not enough. Not enough.
But it's just this song about a guy kind of confessing his love to someone, and it's just like, tell me all your dreams and what you think love means, and he just is in love with this girl, and he goes, just tell me everything, because this might be, like, this moment is all we might ever find. Like, it's all or nothing type dating type thing, and I just love this song. I've been, this because I think, and the truck. I think Tim McGraw and the Dance Hall Doctors, which I believe is what this album's called.
The one where it's just a zoom in on the chest,
On the
chest hair down to the ball throw.
Chin and the brim of the hat, yeah. I think that was the first album I ever heard by him, and this and Comfort Me were like the 2 songs that I really just fell in love with right away, and that's what got me into Tim McGraw. Because I didn't if this is your first time listening, I don't think you care, but I didn't really start listening to country music that much until like senior year of high school. So obviously there was a lot of shit out there. Then. Yeah, I mean I never minded it, but I didn't really start listening to it a lot until then, and now it takes over my life. But yeah,
now I just listen to Truck Yeah 15 times a day.
it's actually my alarm clock song every in the morning. Truck, yeah, gonna get it jacked up. Yeah.
And it's my text message tone and my ringtone. It's the only song that I have on a burnt CD in my car that goes on loop.
When the microwave finishes, it doesn't beep; it just goes truck, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
The
anyway,
doorbell.
it's just a love song that I like. Number 2, If You're Truckin' Yeah. If yeah, truckin' this.
If you're reading Truck Yeah.
Lyrics
This.
on Google, you're successfully winning life. But no, if you're reading this,
So lay me down in that open field out on the edge of town, and know my soul is where my mom always prayed that it would go. But if you're reading this, I'm already home.
this one, I never realized he never had an actual recording of it.
Yeah, it was
It's
just
a
live.
live at the like CMAs or
That's
whatever.
part of the reason why I love it so much, because I think it's really well done, and even though it's a live recording, it sounds really good. You know, like you can tell that it's
you can hear
live.
people cheering and stuff.
So you can tell. But
yeah.
I mean, I love this song. It was my number one. And I'm a sucker for military type sad songs. So
murder and military.
yeah, exactly. People dying, no matter which way. But the whole song being about the letter home to his family, and if you're reading this, that means he died, and so all that stuff, and so it's super sad. But I really appreciate the fact that it was recorded live and it sounds as good as it does.
It's
so
a very sad like to the last shots fired Tracy Atkins type song of this kind of it's very sad, very sad.
Yep.
Well, our number one isn't any less sad, which is our number one, Truck Yeah.
Truck, yeah, wanna get it jacked up, yeah, let's crank it on up, yeah.
Get it backed up, yeah.
Truck, no. Number one, You Get Used to Somebody.
You get used to Truck Yeah.
You get
eventually after 55 drops during the start of this.
You get used to manual transmission in the truck. Yeah.
Get used to manual transmission.
You get trucked with somebody.
Stalling out on a steep incline.
But yeah, you get used to somebody.
I guess you get used to somebody, kinda like having them around. I guess you get used to the way they make you happy, bring you up when you're feeling down. I never dreamed when I was letting you go that I would wake up and miss you this much. I guess you get used to somebody. I guess you get used to being loved.
We both had it ranked very high on our lists, which is why it's number one overall. Because it's just this, it's kind of like a "Oh Yeah, You're Gone" Brad Paisley thing. It's just this amazing song of you just get used to that fact that someone used to be around, and you have to suddenly get used to being single, and it's just like it's difficult.
Yeah,
to do.
it's one of those, and I think it's really powerful because it's one of those songs, like you said, that it lists all these things that you get used to doing together, and now you have to do them alone. But then when he just ends it with, you get used to being loved, and so the fact that he's not being loved, it's like, oh, yeah, that is a gut punch.
Yeah, it hits really hard. I remember actually, I think I sent this one to Andy after one of her ex-boyfriends. They broke up or whatever, and I was just like, yeah, I'm sure this song is how you're feeling, because I was listening to it at the moment, and I was just like, yeah, this is like the perfect you just broke up type song, and it's the thing of you listen to sad songs when you're sad to make you sadder, but it's also to make you feel good, but it all makes you sadder.
It's a vicious cycle.
So, yeah. But yeah, that's definitely
it's a vicious truck.
It is one of my it is one of my favorite songs by him, though, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Being number
It's
one.
very good. Very good.
So yeah, that's our list. If you disagree, how many times should we have put Truckee on our top 10?
Definitely more than the 10 that we did.
Yeah, I know. We should have had it just top 15 of all Truckee.
Honorable mentions, Truck Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else about Truckee, McGraw?
Kind of like we said earlier, he's one of those dudes that I won't listen to that much nowadays, just because I there's part of me that gets annoyed when he has bad songs, and then there's parts of me that gets annoyed when he acts like a diva or a douchebag, and he seems very concerned with how he looks more than anything.
Yeah.
But he has such a tremendous catalog of music that you gotta respect it.
Yeah. I remember when I saw him with a girl who now hates me because I said that the government shouldn't pay for your birth control.
How dare ye?
She's told me to fuck myself and block me on Facebook. But
go truck yourself. Yeah?
When we saw Tim McGraw, I remember he was in the middle of the song, something like that, which is the bro that never happened song of the week.
Yeah. Bro, that didn't happen.
The 8-second ride presents bro that never happened song of the week.
Exactly. You're telling me that entire story about being at the
just
fair and seeing a girl one time and
throwing
then
rocks at trucks or whatever, or trains.
Never Chuck, yeah.
And then you saw her in New Orleans, and she was like, "Yeah, remember me?" And yeah,
you don't forget something like that.
But
Steve.
he was in the middle of that song, and he just stopped, and then he just points to the crowd and goes, "I'm not continuing the song until this person leaves." And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then, of course, the people in front of me, I guess they're huge Tim McGraw fans, they just kind of turn around. They say it to each other, not to us, but we overheard it, and the lady just goes, "He does this like every concert." I'm like, what a fucking pussy. Like, I mean, I agree, kick people out who are being shitheads, but like every concert, I doubt that happens often enough that you need to do that.
Yeah.
But
it's just, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, albums of last week, Kevin. Well, first...
There weren't any.
First, before we get to the albums, there was a song released last week called Must Be the Whiskey by Cody Jinks, written by Josh Morningstar, and it's like, okay.
I will kill you.
I
will truck you on your grave.
It's a fucking fantastic song, and I can't wait for Lifers to come up.
I want it now.
Cody Jinks does no wrong, and 99.9% of my Twitter is about Cody Jinks, so don't even bother looking at it.
Seriously.
AARP. But the albums that came out last week were Steve Moakler, Born Ready. It's, I don't know, I think I like his last album a little better because this one has a little more, it has steel guitar and fiddle and all that, but there's one song where it still has that.
This album,
I was just like, why?
I really liked the first song. I can't remember what the hell it was called. But then I swear to God, every single song afterwards started, and the way that it started, I was just like, oh no. and then it really wouldn't be as bad as I thought it was going to. But every single song, I swear to God, started with some pop country nonsense, and I'm just like, oh my God. Yeah. And it didn't, come to fruition, so it wasn't nearly as bad as I was thinking.
Yeah.
But when I was listening to it, I didn't care. That is the way I'd put it. I just didn't care.
I think I like his last album better than this one, but it's decent. Born Ready, if I didn't say it. Next is Jason Charles Miller's In the Wasteland. This is actually his first one since Natural Born Killer back in like 2012.
Oh, that was way back in the day.
Yeah. But he's if you haven't listened to him, he's really just a rock star.
He's a Brantley Gilbert.
There's really nothing country about him, but if you like the rock, Southern rock type country, then you'd probably enjoy it.
Yeah, my only problem with him is his Brantley Gilbert-esque trying to sound super cool at all times. I was like, okay, bro, you can chill the fuck out for a second.
Yeah, but I actually added the CD to my workout playlist because it's a really upbeat rock album, so it's a good one for that. Next is Pearl, Heartbreaking Canyon Ready. There's like 50 artists named Pearl, so it took me forever to find this album on Spotify, but I decided to type in the album name to find her. But it's just a really good Americana-ish, country-ish album, and it's good. Two Steel Girls, The Real Thing, same thing, I think, was this the one that was the two girls who won I think they're on The Voice or something, if I remember when I looked at their Twitter. I don't remember, but it was a good album.
I would believe you, because I have no idea.
Yeah, I haven't listened to them in a few days, so I forgot. Anyway, other than that, you've been listening to anything else other than that Cody Jinks song on repeat?
I have listened to that song no less than 55 times.
We got in the car the other day, and Kevin already knew every word to the song.
Absolutely. To be fair, there's not that many words you have to remember, but I know all of them, and I love it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic song. Anyway, you can find us at countryhodgepodge.com. We're revamping that site, so check it out, motherfucker.
It has been vamped once, and now it has been vamped again.
It's also vaping, truck, yeah.
We vape, bro. Hashtag Monster. Hashtag Red Bull. Hashtag Oakleys.
Hashtag tap out.
Tap out. Hashtag Affliction. Bro, come at me. Hashtag bro.
I hate everyone. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Country Hodgepodge. You can on Spotify. You can find the Hodgepodgecast picks, where every week we upload the songs that we talk about on each podcast, and you can listen to them all in full listeners.
And this week it's just 55 different iterations of Truck Yeah.
Exactly. The acoustic one, the polka one, the heavy metal one. All great. You can find on the website, or we tweet it out every Monday or Tuesday or whenever we upload it. Kevin's Picks of the Week. You can also find it if you search the name Donkey Factory on Spotify. One word. Yeah, he just uploads 10 different songs every week that are worth listening to, so check that out. Fridays
So
new
you're just
news.
saying worthless, and I'm like, oh man,
Yeah, fuck you, bitch. Truck you, bitch.
it's because I haven't put truck yeah on it yet.
Yeah, what the hell? It should just be on there every week.
Prepare for next week.
Every Friday we tweet out the playlist, Friday's new music. You check out all the new albums, like those 4 that were out this last week. If you want to buy one of our dumb shirts, there's a link through the site, or you go to TeePublic. Like the God Bless American Aquarium one is still probably my favorite one we've made. Or else Sam Hunt Sucks. That's a great one as well.
It's a good one.
I still need to do the My Eyes Aren't Too Far Apart one. I'll get it eventually. You can find me on Instagram at CHP_Clifftron. You can find Kevin on Twitter and Instagram at CHP_Church. Please rate and review the podcast on iTunes. Like us on SoundCloud. Watch us on Pornhub. It's great. We should upload the podcast to Pornhub like Wheeler does.
I don't see why not.
Get some horny dudes listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
And horny women. Women can watch porn too.
Yeah.
But that's it for this week. Next week, we're going to downgrade and talk about Sam Hunt.
Yeah.
Or upgrade, depending on who you talk to.
Left grade.
Left, right grade. Right wing Nazis.
Socialism.
Feel the burn. Yeah, that's it for this week. So until next week, I'm Steve Hodge. As always, joined by Kevin. I'm saying goodbye, good night, and good Charlotte.
I love you.
Chuck, yeah!